Hello and welcome, and thank you for joining us with PME for our PME Facebook Live event. It's really wonderful to see you all again, and thank you if you're USA, in Spain, in Italy, New Zealand, America, anywhere you might be, Hong Kong, etc. Thank you for joining us now live, and thank you if you've joined us a little bit later on after the programme as well. As always, it's great to see you, whether you're a trade customer, PME fan, or just an approved location, etc. Thank you very much. Great to see you. This time we've got Kieran filming, so Kieran can say hello perhaps. There he goes. That's nice. Thank you, Kieran. That's always good to see. So now Nimish knows he has to also say hello next time as well. We've got Pat taking on board all your shout outs and hellos, etc. from upstairs. Upstairs we've got Samir quickly typing and keeping in touch and communication and forwarding that information down to us here. My name's Paula McLeod, I'm Head of School here at PME, and I'll be taking you through some very exciting demonstrations with some very exciting new products that we happen to have here with us today for you to see. So I think that's probably a good point in time to get started now. You've seen some of what we've got coming up. Kieran's already shown you some of those things, and there's a very lovely little cute unicorn we're going to be doing a little bit later on as well. He's just showing you those through there again. We're actually going to get started with a create and press message set that we've got, and you've seen some of those really great awesome little cupcakes at the front. So this is the first thing we're going to be getting started with. Really fantastic little product. I'm very excited about it. Now, I am actually going to pop some gloves on today, so I hope you don't mind too much. A little bit clammy today, I'm afraid to say. We've got the aircon in here, but I think it's probably best just so that I don't stick too much to some of the paste that we're actually working with. I have, of course, washed my hands, etc., but this is just to make sure that I stay nice and clean and I don't stick to everything. So, what I'm going to do is bring in some bits and pieces. Now, first of all, with the message press set, the create and press that we've got, I'm just going to bring in some bits and pieces. I'm also going to grab the cupcake off the front there because I think that would be good. You can see we've got A, B and C. Now, this is because you can actually use the set either with the bar. So if I show you the bar, Kieran's going in nice and close there so you can have a look. Nice clear bar. You've got yellow stoppers in here which make sure that nothing can kind of move past where you want it to. And then it's just a case of sliding the letters in, and then you've got another little stopper at the other end that just secures everything in position. So if I just kind of turn that around, you can kind of see where I'm kind of putting my letters in there. So while Kieran's having a look at that so closely, I may as well just carry on sliding those in, to be honest. So this is where I didn't allow for my gloves sliding into the bar, you see. So I'm going to put that through into there. And then I've got the M I'm going to slide into there. And you can see quite clearly you've got the letters just on there so you know what's what. And that just slides in to that section there, which if I keep it this way you'll be able to see. And slide that in across there, and if I hold that over there you can see which way round everything is from there. And in goes my S. Now that's prepared that for a little biscuit that we're also going to be showing you how to use the bar just by pushing into the paste. If I give that a little wiggle you can see that's all nice and secure in there, and I'm just going to pop it that way round, ready for a little bit later. So first of all I'm just going to get some paste out, which I've got ready. I've actually got some pink sorted out. And if I just bring that through, you can have a little look. All I've done is I've just used a square cutter and cut in once, so it's halved, and then cut in again, so I've ended up with my 4 little sections, and that just gives me A, B, C ready. And then if I just get my lettering, which I've got here, I've got the letters A, B and C ready. I'm not going to do all of these, I'm just going to do one of them. And I've got pink ready. So I'm just going to do C so that that can be kind of pushed in. Now you can either use the bar to do this or you can just do this by hand. So you've got 2 options with the create and press set. So if I just then pull that away, turn that around, you can see you've got your little letter in there. Now, round the outside edge, we can use either a stitch wheel or design wheel just to add a little bit of a pattern in there. Entirely up to you. You might even want to push a serrated cone tool into there, to be honest, to give you a pattern. Entirely up to you. Depends what mood you're in on the day, really, doesn't it? So I'll just flip that over, add a little bit of piping gel or a little bit of your glue onto the back of that. There we go. Oh, it's typical, my brush has gone a little bit firm from earlier. And then just place that onto that. Well, I can see the system's working already. Pat's already got a shout out for us. Go for it, Pat.
I'm on my way over. Okay. So first of all, the two people, I really begin to wonder whether they're a permanent part of our Facebook Live.
I know who you're going to say. I could even hazard a guess, maybe.
Go for it, Paula.
I think it could possibly be Peggy and Joseph from Blossom Cake in Hong Kong.
You've got it.
Yay! Hello, Peggy, and hello, Joseph, and that is great to see you both again. Peggy's an approved location. She holds and teaches the PME courses, and she's one of our distributors as well. So that's great to know that she's kind of, she's there.
I've got a few more when you're ready. But
oh, okay, no, that's fine. Well, what I'll do, Pat, don't disappear, because I'll start piping, and then so as nobody's bored, maybe we could kind of do that at the same time.
Okay.
All I was going to say is that these are also great. Now we've pushed them into our paste, just to use them as a little bit of a guide if you want to do some piping on there. So that's all I was going to do. Okay. So I'll do that while you...
So you pipe and...
I will indeed. There we go.
And I'll endeavour to say hi.
Okay.
So first of all, from Aisha, and she says she's from Pakistan.
Oh, lovely.
In Karachi City. Petra says hello from Sophia, and best regards to all team, and a lovely big red heart.
Oh, that's great. Thank you.
And then we come back home to Angela Knowles, says hi from Gloucester.
Hello to Gloucester as well. Okay, so that's just giving you a little bit of an idea. Not wonderful piping there from me at this point in the game, I'm sorry to say, but I've just done some little dotting just on there. I've just used a 1.5 in case you're interested as to what I'm working with. If I just scoop that away, my buttercream's kind of like running out a little bit there. But it gives you a really good idea as to what you can actually do with those lovely little sets of letters in there. There's numbers in there as well, and there's little spaces also. Now I've got a biscuit, and all I was going to do next, just to show you how versatile they can be, just a little bit of piping gel onto the back of my biscuit, rich tea biscuit. And I've already got the circle cut out. And emojis are very in these days. So we're just going to push that in on there. So place that in on there so that we can kind of see what we're up to. There we go. And if I just use the cutter just to push in to create a little bit of a mouth on the bottom. It's been in there a while, so I need to give it a bit more of a firmer push. You can start to see just at the side a little bit of an indent, and then I can bring my bar in. Just make sure I don't do it upside down. This is where I'm trying to make sure Kieran can see, but I'm just going to push that in across there, across the middle, and then just remove. Oh, I didn't do that very well. Now also, the very good thing about this is you can line this up really well and then push again. And that's my fault because I did have my paste rolled out ready. That's better. There we go. But do you see? I mean, you saw what I did there because I didn't do it very well, but straight away I've managed to get it lined up in perfectly, and I haven't got any over push in there either, so you can see that quite well as to how that's gone. And then I've just got two little pearls just for the eyes. Just going to push them in. There we go. And there's our little face. Yay, smile. Smile, Kieran. He doesn't stop smiling, actually. So I'm just going to push those up there. So that's our first product, which is really fun and exciting. Like I said, I absolutely love that. It's so secure, those little letters in there. They're absolutely perfect. Really, really ideal. Now, the next exciting thing we're looking at is the butterfly plungers. Now, these are mini butterfly plungers, and they're veined as well. So again, you're getting an extremely great product. If I turn them up that way, and you can see very detailed as well, and very, very tiny too. Sorry Kieran, if I just kind of put, if you can see my nail through there, how tiny that little one is compared to the size of my nail, it gives you an idea just how small they actually are. So I'm just going to use gum paste. So this is firmed up a little bit now. Just got some white out there. I did pre-knead it earlier, so I'm just going to get going with that. Add in a little bit of petal base if you need to. So I'm just going to roll this out quite thinly, and then I'm going to start using the plunger cutters for you to see. And in the meantime, I can see Pat's got another shout out, so we could do that at the same time then maybe, Pat.
Okay, as always, Paula, we seem to be all around the world.
That's fantastic.
Never ceases to amaze me.
No, we say it every time, don't we?
So, first of all, hi from Louisiana in the USA, and that's from Valerie.
Oh, that's wonderful. Hello, Louisiana. Yeah.
And then we've got a hi from Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico as well.
Jeanette.
Wow, Jeanette in Puerto Rico.
And we're going back to Hong Kong with a big hello from Shirley.
We're hopping around everywhere, aren't we?
Indeed.
So a big hello and thank you to everybody for watching. That's really, really good to know. So what I'm going to do now is just push into my paste. Now you can roll thinner than I have if you want to. Give it a little push and then a little eject out. And there we go. There's our little butterfly. So I'm just going to work my way through. I'm going to roll it out a little bit finer. There we go. Just trying to see which one I went for. There we go. And again, a little push, wiggle, and then a little cut. There we go. Give it a little push. It nearly flew away, that one, Kieran, I think. And again, just a little roll out. Using a little bit of icing sugar just in case we're a little bit sticky. So again, just another push, wiggle, cut. I like to give it a little smooth over as well, and then you can see our little butterflies just lined up there, ready to go. So we're going to add some dusting onto the edges of those as well, so that should look really good. And I've got some pretty colours lined up here. Just got a bit of kitchen towel to be able to catch the dust underneath there too. I have to admit, I'm kind of semi-regretting my decision to put gloves on because it is kind of slightly restricting, I have to admit. But now I'm also very aware that my hands have been sweating, so I know it's a mistake to take them off. So I'm just going to have to go with this, I'm afraid. So just a little bit of blue dust on the edges there, and you can kind of see the design coming through there. But aren't they cute? They are so pretty, these little butterflies. And if you want to, you can flip it over and do the other side as well. And I love that colour, so that's the little butterfly down. You've got a lovely little body shape going on in there as well. Now, if you really want to, you can add in some extra pen details there, so you can see, you can kind of catch up onto those there too. And what I've done with some of them over here, you can pop them onto wires as well. So I used a very fine wire, so we're looking at a gauge 30 for these. If I pop those there, you can see. But what I've also done is I just frilled the edges just a little bit, just like you would do with your larger butterflies. And I have got one of those as a comparison. Now that's a medium one, so if I bring that one in, you can see the difference between the sizing. I'll just pop that down there and Kieran can kind of home in on that one as it's rolling away. Oh, Pat's busy again. Another shout out. There we go. Go for it, Pat.
Okay, we're still in Hong Kong.
Oh, wow.
With Catty Wong, who says hi.
Hello.
Lorna says hello, watching from Cyprus.
Oh, from Cyprus. That's good. I don't think we've had Cyprus before, have we? I don't think so.
I don't know. I've lost track, Paul. And Sheila Richardson says hi from the UK, and she says, love the butterfly cutters.
They're great, aren't they? We knew you would. We did know that. They are awesome. That's good to know.
Sandu and Jessica say hello.
Hello! So there we go. So I've just kind of frilled my little butterfly. You can see that one there. And I'm just going to pop it onto a cupcake. I mean, you can dust this up before or after. It's entirely up to you, whatever's the easiest thing to do, whatever works for you. I mean, it is gum paste, so it does dry quicker, but I've still got plenty of time to be able to do what I need to do. So just a bit of sugar paste going to go over on the top of my cupcake, and I'm just going to squash my little butterfly in on that so his little wings just flip upwards. There we go. Little whoosh round, there we go. Kieran's getting in nice and close. There we go. Give that a little swing round. I'm just doing this so that we've got nice wet paste to be able to just push our butterfly in onto, which we will have. A little bit of that on there. We don't need very much going on because it is quite tacky, that cupcake anyhow. So just push that down onto there, make sure that that's secure, and just bring in our little butterfly, and we're just going to push down, and that should then just flip the wings up and secure it in position, so you kind of see how cute that looks there. And then you can put all of your little butterflies all over your cupcake quite randomly. And obviously we've got 2 other sizes on there, so we could put them all on there if we wanted to. I shall move on so that we're not doing them all. I'm going to pop them there so Kieran can have a look at those as well. But they really are great little cutters, those. I'm going to leave them there so that everybody can have a little look at those. Right, so we're also going to have a little look. I mean, Kieran can just show you the cake there while I just grab out these next 2 plunger cutters that we've got. And they make an absolutely great explosion just on the top as well. You can see, I mean, it's quite a lot of work involved, but they are really very, very worthwhile when you've kind of got them all together. They look really, really terrific. Now we're moving on to the happy birthday. So I'm just going to grab some paste. A little bit of a white paste to get on with. There we go. So if I just hold these, you can see happy birthday plungers. So these are those just over this way. You've got a selection over here, and we've kind of used a variety of different mediums to kind of then colour. We've either got the option of pushing in some paste into the cutter, smoothing it off and then pushing that into the paste. We've used some concentrate colour and a dabber as well to be able to colour that up there, and we've used the pens too, and if you really wanted to you could put some lustre over on there and paint the lustre on as well. So you've got the options either of those ways, plenty of things to do, or you might have your own variation that you want to go with, but you can see that there. So we're just going to roll that out. So just some white paste, just ordinary sugar paste that we've got there. Going to give that a little roll out like so. Make sure it's not too thick and not too thin. A little bit of icing sugar just underneath there, so that spins around nicely onto the surface, and then just give it a little push in. So give it a push. I normally go left and then right, in the middle, and then give it a push down. There's a bit of a joke here that Jan's so strong she just hardly touches everything, and it does the job perfectly. So there you can see your happy birthday just across there. And if we just do the little one as well, so just push in, little wiggle on there as well, give it a cut out, and a little emboss, and there you go, got your little happy birthday just in there. Now what we're going to do is I've got some that are kind of dried, so I can just finish off colouring those. But while these ones are still wet, what you can do, you've got this lovely little spike, so we can then just push them into a cupcake. But don't forget, you can actually just remove that if you want it so that it's just a straight edge running across there as well. So you've got the choices of either or. And I'm just going to finish off colouring these. Now the other great thing you can do is add your wire just into that little point section there too, like we've done there. We've got a plastic wire going into here, but you could put that on your normal, usual wire as well. So that's all good. So I'm just going to choose a couple of different pens just to add in and finish off this happy birthday. I'm just using that brush end just quickly to add in a little bit of colour on there. And it isn't better to do it if you just leave it to be a little bit firmer. I like to hold on to these, and I tend to squash them if they've just come out from the ejector. So I think for me it's probably better to do it that way round, but they are still able to do straight away. There we go. And very quickly you can see you've got a really lovely multicoloured happy birthday message. And again, just over here, we've got a little dabber, so we could do dust onto there as well if we wanted to. And just so as that shows up, I'm just going to use a bit of apricot or orange, tiger orange, something like that, I think it is. Just take a little bit of excess off there. We don't want too much. It's better to build it up gradually as you go. So it'll be a different colour to what's already on here, but that doesn't matter. So just very gradually build that up so you can start to see. Turn it round so that I can see what I'm doing. And you can see you can just build that up as you go. So that little dabber just catches all the raised elements of happy birthday, and you've got yourself a really lovely little coloured message. And then you can go back over it again. I think probably this was done in a slightly different colour, maybe a red, and I've gone orange just to be different and exciting. Why not? So I'm just going to put the lid back onto this so that I don't drop colour everywhere. So, and what we could do, some of the things we've done over on the display, you can see we've added in happy birthdays into some of these little fondant fancies, so they should just push straight in when they're dry as well. You can see that goes in very, very easily, no problem at all. And I've also got lined up here just a little Battenberg, which Pat was very chuffed with, which she picked up and she thought, you know, it looks so cute. She said, I think this could work really well. And it has done. We've pushed some little butterflies into there, and we could put some little happy birthdays in there as well, which we've done up on the display there. And we can add in a variety of other butterflies if we need to as well. So I think probably a few extra on there might look quite nice. I've got another little... We've also got some usual cupcake. We've got some fruit pies up there, I think, as well, that Kieran's with, that you can see we've pushed them into there too. So basically, if you haven't got time to make or bake anything, don't worry about it. All you need to do is just push out some of those happy birthdays or little butterflies and drop them straight into there. The other exciting thing that we've pushed them into, before I forget to mention it, is a very lovely display of yummy ice cream. Now, Kieran, nimish, no nibbling, as they say, and you can just push that straight into there. How fantastic is that to be able to have that as part of the display? Very, very yummy. All sorts of different sizes and colours can go into there. That's the one that I've got that I'm going to push in there that's ready to go. And then we can just drop a spoon into there, and that's very lovely. So if you hear any nibbling going on, that's probably going to be nimish, I should think, unless Pat gets there first. So I'm just going to leave that. Actually, if I just push that, I don't know, yell at me, Kieran, if you want it somewhere else. I'm not sure where to pop that, but you can have a little look. I'm going to pop that fondant fancy down at the front. Okay, so the next exciting product that we're going to be looking at doing is side scrapers. These are the tall ones. So you can see for all those really lovely cakes that you've got, you'll be able to use those right the way around there really, really well. Now, we've got a cake that's part way ready. I'm just going to bring that over now. And I think it was Nimish said that I was matching this cake. This is our marzipan cake in yellow marzipan, and as you can see, I'm also in yellow as well. So I'm matching. Now we've got the top already royalised onto there, and we're just going to do the side very quickly, just so that you can actually see one of the tool scrapers actually in action. So I'm just going to prepare that cake by using a nozzle, and that's going to be the NZ789. Pat's got a shout out as well, I understand. So while I start doing my icing on here before I scrape round, we could do that shout out at the same time maybe then, Pat.
Yeah, whatever works for you.
Yeah, that works for me, Pat. And then if I run out of icing, embarrassingly enough, it'll be a distraction from that, you see. There's method in my madness.
So did you just want to explain the
Yeah,
nozzle
this
and
is
everything?
the NZ789. One side is serrated and one side is smooth, and we're going to be using that smooth side. And it's just a very easy way of managing to put an even layer of icing all the way around the cake, which is what I'm just doing now. And this is the one I was worried about, because I think I'm just going to have a little stop and a squeeze so that I've got enough to be able to get all the way around the cake. Well, it's going to be a bit of a push because these are big nozzles, so always make sure that you do have enough icing in your bag to be able to get you all the way around your cake, because the nozzle does take up quite a large section of it. So there we go, that's that one round. And I'm then moving on to a different colour. Oh, sorry, Pat, you were doing a shout out.
Yeah, but when
forgot
you're
all
ready.
about it, sorry.
No, I'll fit in with you, so you just tell me when.
Any time is fine, Pat. Sorry, I'd forgotten all about it.
You've forgotten all about
I
me.
don't know how I could do that, but I did somehow. I forgot you.
So our first one is from Shazadi Khan.
Shazadi.
And they say I'm also from South Africa.
Oh, lovely.
And Joe,
So South Africa's there too. Great.
South Africa is with us.
Hello.
And Joe Gertie says hi, and she sends a kiss.
Oh, lovely. Big kiss back from all of us.
And Miriam says hi from Dubai.
Oh, Miriam from Dubai. Wow.
And this is the name you'll know.
Oh, okay.
Ray Wall
Oh, Ray. Good old Ray. Hello, Ray.
says hi, Paula, doing a lovely job, and he's sending you kisses.
Oh, kisses back, Ray, from all of us. Thank you. Good to know you're watching. So I'm just going round, squeezing the icing round. Doesn't look very pretty. And I've just got some different colours going on. And we're going to have too much icing going around the top, but that doesn't matter because we'll just remove that. And the main thing is to just show off the scrapers to you so you can see them in action, going around the side of the cake. Now you're able to scrape round here as many times as you feel the need to, so if you want to go round more than once, feel free to when it comes to the scraping. There we go. So that's just a very easy way of being able to attach an even amount of icing onto your cake. And I'll probably lose Kieran at some point in time, but I'm nice and flat on the board and I'm upright at an angle, and I'm just going to go right the way round and keep going. So I'll see the other side, Kieran. There we go. I can't see a thing, so I'm just going to keep going around. Now, I'm not going to aim for perfection or anything like that, but we've got that pretty much all the way round, as you can see. Now, I would probably go round again, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to leave you to be able to do that. And then I just tidy off across the edge at the top to give myself a nice smooth finish. But you can see how ideal that is. Now, with buttercream, obviously, you'd have it a little bit more kind of aerated and bubbly, but you can see how easily we put the icing round there and the effect that it has for you. Okay, so that's just a quick show of how to use those. And don't forget those two sizes that we were showing you there earlier. So if you've got a slightly shallower cake, you can go with that as well. I did use the larger one with this, but I could have got away with using the smaller one, but I wanted you to see the big one in action there as well. I think we've got a video on that one as well, so you can kind of tune in there and see us doing that there in the video as well. So it weighs quite a bit, that cake now, actually, as well. Okay, so clear a little bit of space, and I'm just going to move in this section over here. Now the other thing that we've got are these really useful things. Spiked pillars. To be honest, it's nothing worse than trying to dowel a cake, etc. And it's really kind of one of those things that if you're a bit nervous about it, you're not sure if it's going to be okay or not, this takes a lot of the pressure out. It's a case of pushing the pillar into the cake all the way down to the actual board that's underneath the cake, as far down as it will go, and then that means to say that it's nice and sturdy. It's not going to go anywhere. And then you can pop your next tier on the top of your pillars once they're in there. But something that we've done over on the little cake there that we wanted to share with you was just adding in some little pearls or hundreds and thousands into your spiked pillar. So I'm just going to pour some of these into a bag and then just fill it. You can use a little spoon or something like that. That should be enough, I think. Add a few more in there just in case. There we go. Nice and colourful. Very rainbowy. Very rainbowy. So I'm just going to snip the end off this. And they should, in theory, all just go into the spiked pillar. Just give it a little squeeze at the same time, a little shake. Can cut off more if you want to. I wasn't quite sure how many to go with. Turn it upside down, chop a bit more off, and they'll come out a little bit easier. There we go. Give it a little squeeze. There we go. That's better, Kieran, isn't it, for you? There we go. And I'm going to go right to the very top. Now, one thing you could choose to do is put your spray of flowers actually into that top section, like so. Sorry, can you see that okay, Kieran? I've now got pearls pinging everywhere at the moment. There you go. Or one of the other things you could do when we're kind of finishing off is just into that top section pop a little rainbow, and that's when we're actually doing our little unicorn in a second. If I do that now, in case I forget to pop that in there, you can just see how nicely that could just sit in the top of that. Anyway, that's where we're going to be placing our little unicorn in a minute. I think we've got a question. I'm sorely regretting filling this at this point in time, Pat, because they're going everywhere now. I'm going to have to take some of them out. There we go. I'm just going to pour some away. That's better. There we are. Okay, Pat, yes.
Okay, yeah, I just wanted to catch you before you go on to the unicorn, because I didn't want to stop you once you're with the unicorn. But I just wondered if you could just bring back your cake.
Right.
And just quickly talk people through it again.
Oh, okay.
Only there's been quite a lot of people interested.
Oh, okay. I don't know. Could I risk going around that again? Probably not, actually.
No.
I think we've started to coat already.
Well, the aircon's on, so it's dry.
So it's drying quickly.
But if you could just quickly talk people...
What we were doing.
Yes.
What I started off with was our tube here, which has got a bit mucky, but if I just, sorry Kieran, moving that away. So that's an NZ789, and it's just an easy way of being able to get an even coating on your cake when you're adding your icing in before you're using it. You've got your serrated edge just that way, so you could actually add it in with a design. So perfect if you've just got a very shallow cake and you just want to go round once with it. The other side is a flat side, so that's great if you're kind of not bothered and you just want to kind of have a plain finish around your cake there. So we just kind of did 3 different colours just to try to be a bit more exciting. And then we went round with our scraper, so we went all the way round there, and then we just went round with our scraper. Now I can't go round again, I only went round once, and to be honest I'd probably prefer to go round a second time with it. And then once you've done that, you just tidy up across the top just by pulling that across there, which I also didn't do because I was just kind of moving on to the next thing. But you can see then that tidies that up all the way around the edge for you. And that's just such an easy way of being able to get a lovely straight edge on your cake with these really great size, tall side scrapers. So there are 2 different sizes in those. This is actually the shorter one of the 2, and the other one is just over here, still covered in icing, I'm afraid, which is that size there. So ignore the icing as you're going around onto there. So do you think that's enough information, Pat, on those? Does that help, or does everybody want to know the sizes? Because we've got those here, and if I kind of hold those out there, they might be able to do that.
I think So there was a lot of interest,
Oh,
and,
okay.
and people were very interested, and we kind of went through it quite quickly.
Well, we did, didn't we?
And
you didn't want me to be too boring.
and I think
But I could have gone a bit slower.
I think probably now,
Yeah.
if anybody's got any questions, then
They'll come straight
maybe
back.
they'll pop back.
Yeah,
and-
no, that's great. So we have got that video as well. So if there is anything anybody needs to know, and you can use it for sugar paste as well to get that nice sharp edge too. But if you want to go, you can see it on the Cake It website for the video as well. I can't hear what Pat's saying. I'm sorry. I'm just going to have to come clean that you're trying to tell me stuff there. I'm sorry.
The video is posted on the Cake It website, which is cakeit.education, and it's also on our YouTube page, and I'm sure Kieran,
Sorry, Kieran.
Samir will pop that up if anybody needs to know, as are the videos from all of our Facebook.
Okay. Right, so I've still got my gloves on, which is good. I'm working well in my gloves now. So I've just popped our little unicorn just up here. Haven't given her a name, so if anybody wants to maybe pop a name in, and then we will definitely pick a name at the end, perhaps, maybe, because this is cute. And what we've actually done, we've actually used the normal size butterfly. That's the medium one that we were showing you earlier. That's disappeared. So that's this size here, and then the small mini plunger butterflies, which we've kind of then just used to decorate her with. And you can see she's just got one on her nose, and maybe if we remember, we'll just pop a little happy birthday sign there with her, because it's actually her birthday today, if anybody knew about that. So that's why we have to pick a name for it. It's her birthday, and she needs a name, bless her. So, while you're all thinking about a name for this pretty little unicorn, we're just going to very quickly take you through the steps on how we created her. There's more balls flying everywhere there. So she's actually just going to sit, this one is just going to sit just on the top here. And I'm just going to use some sugar paste. There's a very small amount of gum paste in here just to firm it up, a very small amount, but not a huge amount. So just roll that round into a ball, and then just into a bit of a cone shape, because it is going to be just a very simple, basic little shape. There we go. And that's going to sit probably just about there. Now, because I'm working kind of now, I'm going to lean it up there, just in case it decides to fall off for any reason. And then we're just going to look at doing some front legs for her. So just a couple of sausages, really, tapered sausages, so you can't get any easier than that. Again, just roll that into a ball, and then just divide that ball in half. There we go. And there's one. And there's two. So if you work on them together and make sure that they're pretty much the same size, then you can't go far wrong. And I'm just going to check that they actually do go the length of the body, which they do. And then we're just going to cut out a couple of little feet for her, or hooves as they are, but they're not feet because she's a unicorn. So just a little bit of pink. Again, this is just sugar paste now. There we go. And I've just got an oval, not oval, a little round plunger cutter there, just to be able to kind of get the shape. Again, just roll that out. I'm going to put a bit of icing sugar just underneath, so I can slide around just a little bit, little cut out. So two of those, there we go, one and two. Actually, if I do four while I'm at it, because we've got her legs as well. So there we go, and four. There we go. Just pop that back in the bag so it doesn't dry out for now. So the colours that I've got going, I've got pink and I've got yellow and I've got green, and they're the colours that I'm using also for the mane and the tail and all those type of things. And Pat's got a shout out, so she's ready to rumble.
Well, I've actually got a couple of names,
Ooh.
suggested names that have come in.
Oh, that's great, brilliant.
So Jo, who we did a shout out to earlier, She suggests rainbow.
Rainbow, well that makes sense, doesn't it?
And Becky Rowe, I don't remember us talking to Becky earlier, but hi Becky. She says Gertrude the unicorn.
Gertrude, that's a very unusual name of Gertrude. Well, I hope somebody's remembering all these names because somebody's going to have to pick one. But thank you for those suggestions as well, so keep them rolling in. There we go. So all I've done is just pop those little pink circles just underneath, and then we're going to attach those onto the front for her legs. Just going to paint along down there. There we go. They're just going tight together. I'm just going to turn it around so I can see a little bit of what I'm up to. One there, and then just one along there as well. Give it a little smooth to get rid of any prints that happen to be in there. And you can start to see coming together. So another couple of sausages just to create the little legs at the back too. Way up, Pat's with a shout out again. Looks like Samir's working well upstairs.
I've got shout outs and I've got more names.
Oh, more names, fantastic.
Okay.
Yes, this is exciting stuff.
Okay, so
yes.
Julie Haig is watching from South Yorkshire, here in
South
the UK.
Yorkshire. Oh, lovely.
Helma is watching from the Netherlands.
Oh, wow, Netherlands too.
And,
hello, Netherlands as well.
Parmod says hi. I'm not sure where she is, but hi.
Yep.
And Elizabeth also says hi.
That's good.
Then Dawn, I'm on the names.
Yes, okay.
Dawn Prebles says, what about Eunice?
Eunice the unicorn. Oh, I quite
Yes.
like that, yes.
Kathleen says Penelope.
Penelope, right.
And Helma says, how about Pebbles the unicorn?
Oh, Pebbles, oh, I like that one as well. Well, it's going to be very difficult. Who's going to have to pick this name, Pat, by the way? I don't want to have that pressure. They're really cute little names. I bet there's a story with each of them as well, which is really interesting. Okay, so I'm just going to, again, just put the little end onto there. So these are just the little back legs. I did start, rolled a ball, and then you'll see I chopped it in half, and I decided that was far too big. I just popped it round here and it was massive. So I just used the other half to bring it down. So then I've just kind of reduced the size down, and this time it's much better size. So there we are, we've just pushed those onto there, and then we'll just add those in along the side. Yep. Now, because of where I've put her, I'm not going to be able to get her tail on very easily either. But never mind, that can stick out from the side. There we go. And as you can see, because I've got the gloves on, I'm actually marking the paste quite a bit as well. So I just need to give it all a little bit of a smooth as I go. Let me turn around and have a little look. Okay, that's not too bad then. There we go. It's very difficult because I'm trying to make sure Kieran can see what he needs to see for all of you, and I can't actually see anything from here, so not to worry. So now we're just going to look at the head. So I'm just going to see if this is going to be about the right sort of size. So I'm going to roll that into a ball, and I think that's probably a bit too big. So I'm just going to take it down maybe by about, not half, but a third. And then just roll it into a ball again and see how that's going to look. And I think that's probably going to be a little bit better. Now, before I start on the head, what I'm going to do is have ready a little sugar stick. Now, obviously, you can't always see that easily when you're kind of like where you are all watching. So we've got some sugar sticks there. Now, they are probably a little bit bigger than I'd normally go with, but that way you'll be able to see those much easier, won't you? And I'm just going to push that in here with a little bit of glue, and then I'll be able to very safely attach the head onto that for the little unicorn. So if I just kind of paint a little bit of glue onto there and then push that in, I've got a slight point onto there, so that will mean to say that should push in quite easily. There we are. So that flattens it all down a little tiny bit. Give it another little push, and that's just a very safe way of making sure you've got your head in position when it comes to it. So I've flattened her down a little bit. Okay, so back to the head. So just start to roll one end slightly in from the end, rock backwards and forwards in the palm of your hand, and that just kind of gives you that kind of head, kind of snouty shape that we've got there. And that's this cone tool, and then just push in for the nose at the top. So that's one, and then two. So you can see that's given her just a little snout. And then a pair of scissors or a cutting wheel, anything like that at all. and then you can just give yourself the mouth. There you go. So snips that into there. And you can, if you want to, just open that out just a little tiny bit so she's kind of happy and smiley. And then that's that first part of the head ready to go. And then we're just going to use a ball tool just to push in for the eyes. So just very simple, very basic. And a little bit of sugar paste, just 2 small balls. And then we're just going to chop that in half. Again, if it's too big, just come back down again size-wise, which I think it will be. So I'm going to come back down, I'm going to halve it again, so it always keeps it even. There we go. And same thing again. There we go. Brush, there we are, a little tiny bit of piping gel on there. Should still lift. Drop one of those in and then drop the other one in. Just going to give them a little push so that they are in there all okay. And then just another little indent with the bulbulous cone tool, and I'm just going to do that for the black to go in there in a minute in the centre. There we go. So it's just got a little bit of a guide. You don't need very much black on there. And this is just for her little eyes because I think she's kind of looking a little bit ski-whiff at the little butterfly that's landed on her nose. So again, very small ball, and then just halve it down. I'm just using the scriber just to divide everything up. Keep rolling and have a look and see how that is. Divide it into half, so that should now give us 2 eyes, and that's probably going to be a better size. There we go. It's going around everywhere. It's quite tricky to roll that with gloves on at that size, actually. There we go. And a little bit of gel just where we're going to be dropping the black in to position. Same thing over that side there as well. I'm just going to give it a little push down. There we go. Right, then we're going to look at her eyelashes. And then once we've done that, we're on to the all-important fun bits as well, with her tail and her mane and her forelock and the horn, of course. So just clean that off there, divide that into half. There we go, and half again. Now these are going to be very tiny sausages, so we're looking, if I hold that there and just roll that, so we've got a nice long thin little tiny worm, if you can see that. And the same thing again. There we go. And I will need to just attach those on. There we go. I'm just going to turn around so I can see what I'm doing. Now I would also choose to do an extra little bit as well, but we don't have to do that. And I don't want you all kind of thinking, oh my goodness. Let's just kind of move on. So if I just drop that in position there, and then just use the brush just to push it where it needs to go. And flick that up and around a little bit. There we go. So you can start to see, and you can add in a second one just down there. So make sure that's quite damp. I'm going to give that a little bit more of a taper. There we go, and drop that into position. Again, I'm going to use the brush just to help me position that. And guide it round. They're quite big. They're supposed to be kind of eyelash bits. It looks more like she's getting ready to fly a plane, I think, at the moment, to be honest. There we go. Right, so that's those little bits there. So what I need to do at this point in time is just push her onto our sugar stick. Now we haven't got that much room on here at the moment. I am going to have to turn it round, I'm afraid, Kieran, so I can see what I'm up to at the moment. So I'm pushing that on. There we go. And I'll just shape her a little bit before we start to add in the other little bits and pieces. There we go. just going to pop her round that way. And then we can start looking at adding her little bits of tail and hair on, and then we'll add her ears at the end. So I'm just going to take a bit of pink paste and some green as well, and then some yellow too. There we go. I mean, you can use whichever colours you really want to, but I've kind of gone with these. I thought these were quite unicorny colour. There we go. So give them all a little bit of a knead up, and we're going to do tapered sausages here with each of these, but leave a good amount at the end so you've got something to hang on to. And we've got some shout outs, so while I'm working with each of these, we could do those shout outs maybe, Pat. That would work well.
That works for you. Actually, then more names.
Oh, okay. Right.
Okay. So Unesta.
Unesta, that's a pretty name.
Says unicorn indigo.
Indigo, that's a nice name as well.
And, Paula.
Paula.
Says Serenity.
Serenity, oh, that's a really nice one as well.
She doesn't know you, does she?
No.
And Star Decor
okay.
says Angie.
Angie.
And Aisha, if you remember, who we did a shout out to right at the very beginning. Says Plumai.
Plumai, well, that's different as well. Oh. We've got some nice names coming through there, Pat. It is going to be very difficult. We're going to have two little unicorns we could name, so we could have two names that we could pick. Put it to the vote upstairs, perhaps. So we're just doing tapered sausages now. I have actually got two things ready. So all I'm going to do is hold them together like that, squash them up together a little bit, and then just twist round. And that gives you the beginning of your mane or tail, or the unicorn horn as well, because that's also how I did that. So that way you can then chop those bits off, and you can just re-roll those, and you can squash these together a little bit to firm it up, and then that starts to give you your little kind of spiral of colour for her tail or for her mane, whichever bit. So this is actually going to be her tail. So I'm actually just going to decide where that's going to kind of head off at the edge there. Just tidy it up a little bit. We don't need all of that on there. And I'll tuck that in around that way, and that can just sit over the edge to the side. And as soon as you put that little tail on, she starts to look really cute and all come together. So what I've done earlier, I actually got a little bit more ready because her little forelock is kind of set and sticking up a little bit. So what I thought I'd do is kind of like have one ready that we could kind of chop down a little bit and just add in so it was sticking up where it needed to be. So I'm just going to trim that down just a little bit to see if we can get that to the right sort of size. So I'm just going to spin that round again, Kieran, so we can kind of have a little look and see. Maybe that way or that way. Takes a few minutes to just sort of see where you want it to be positioned. So a bit of piping gel. I'm using piping gel because it is stronger than ordinary glue. I've just realised one thing I haven't used today. Pedal base. It's sacrilege. So I'm just going to start adding that in. And then we're going to look. This is going to be the horn as well. So this is kind of going to sit in the centre. So I need to kind of get that on quite soon, really. So I'm just going to trim that down a little bit. But I just thought I'd do that ahead of time, and then I can get that to just sit in there. I'm going to turn around, and I'm just going to create a little bit of a hole for that to sit in, like so. A little bit of piping gel going in as well. There we go. And that should just push into position, like so. And we'll get some ears on. Just going to grab a bit of this paste that's already sitting there. That'll do. So roll that into a ball again as well. and then just divide that into half as well. Clean up your scriber. There we go, that should be about right. And we're just going to make 2 little triangles. That's 1 and 2. There we go. And just a little bit of an indent into each. I'm just going to use that flat end of the leaf shaper just to give it a little bit of a texture inside. Same thing again there. And again, some piping gel either side, just turning around again. There we go. I need to drop down because I can't see it. I'm going to put 1 each side and then squeeze in, because that's probably the best way of just attaching those on. And then I'm just going to use that a little bit to flatten that in. Should have really sat down for this, I think, but not to worry. There we go. Well, I don't think she's looking too bad, really, considering she's kind of been put together the way she has. So while we're kind of like coming to the end there, I'm just going to carry on doing her mane so we can get her finished off. Now, she would ideally need another couple of eyelashes in there, extra there for her mane. A little bit of colour just on her nose is always nice, which is what we've done on our other little unicorn. So just a tiny, tiny bit just on her nose, just a little bit in there. Just to give it a little bit of a highlight and colour. A bit on the cheeks if you want to as well. And then those all-important little butterflies. Now, I've already got a butterfly here ready that I cut out earlier that's going to go on the back. And that's that size that we've got there. There we go. Oh, there goes the other sugar stick on the floor and crushed. It's gone. So we can add a little bit of blue and a little bit of pink perhaps on there is pretty. Just down the centre. And if you do both sides, and then when it kind of gets attached, it will show very nicely. A little bit of blue just across the edges. So that's kept nice and soft in there too. And that's going to be on her back. And we're just going to push that in. Well, good luck to me with doing that because I've got a pillar in the way, so I'm going to have to remove the pillar to do that. And I'm going to drop that there for a second, and I'm going to attach a dried little butterfly on there instead. I've got some just here. So I'm just going to, a little bit of gel, just pop a little bit onto her nose, and there we go. And then she's looking at her little butterfly that's landed onto there. Now I'm going to do some mane down here as well, and then I'm going to attach that big butterfly on here for her little wings at the back. As you can see, I've got a pillar in the way, so I do need to take that out to do it, and I'll just squash that in there so that she's got her little unicorn wings. Okay, and that's how to do a very simple, very easy little unicorn. And we've just finished off and decorated with those pretty little rainbow, ready-made little rainbow edibles on there as well, which is always a good way to end with a rainbow on there too. Okay, so did we decide on a name at all, Pat?
Well, it's actually been decided upon in the office upstairs.
Oh, okay.
I'm
pleased about that because I didn't want that sort of pressure, if I'm absolutely honest. I really didn't.
So Samir will be posting that.
Oh, that's really good. Well, good luck everybody with that. I hope your name gets picked.
And don't forget, it's her birthday.
It is her birthday. Both of their birthdays. They're twins. Yes.
And I do have a quick question for you.
Okay.
This has come from Christine Pomeroy, and it's with reference to the edible glue. Okay. Is it edible glue that you're using to stick?
I've been using piping gel today, Christine. It was Christine, wasn't it?
It was Christine.
Yes, so I've been using some piping gel. So it's a bit thicker because we're quite hot here as well. So it's a much stronger glue, and it's ideal for piping with, colouring up. But you can see from the consistency, it's great. I use it a lot when we're working with modelling chocolate as well. But it's a nice, thick glue to work with. Don't need too much of it as well, otherwise it slides. So, but yeah. Hope that helps.
Okay, and I think, Paula, when you're ready,
Yep.
I think they'd love to see the cake assembled and the,
Oh,
happy,
yep,
and the
perfect.
happy birthday in there.
Yep, that would be lovely. Jolly good. There we go. Right, the wing I'm going to add later. Let's just slide that in. There we go. There we are. If I give her a little twist, I'm going to push that as far forward as I dare. There we go. There we are. I think that's as far forward as I can go without hurting the one underneath. There we go. And I think they're ready to rumble. There you go.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. In it goes. Let me find a spare one. I need a spare. Do you know what I've done, don't you? I've used most of them over there. There we go. Let me grab one of these that's ready to go into there. So it's happy birthday to me. So I'm just going to push that in her leg. I know that sounds terrible, doesn't it? There we go. And I'm actually going to add in a few more pearls in the top there. And it's a wide enough thing to be able to do. There we go. It's nice if some of those are sprinkled around. And that could just sit on the top there. Yay, there we go. How's that? There we go. That's lovely. So I think we're probably all done. And watch out, because Samir will be letting whoever the lucky winner is know that they've won. Naming the unicorns, or 2 different people, I guess, because we've got 2 of them, so that would be great. So good luck with that. Thank you ever so much for joining us and sharing in some of these new products that we've got to be able to kind of display and demonstrate to you today. It's been really, really great, and thank you so much for watching, and we look forward to seeing you next time round. So thank you. And I spied something over here, and this time, Kieran, was this you?
Wasn't me, wasn't me.
Nimish, that was you then. No. I'm looking at Pat. It's a big bite.
Actually, it was me.
Mrs. Trunkfield. Anyway, goodbye and thank you very much.